Cassidy Davis.
Hello.
Hello. I'm going to start off with the most important question that I got.
Okay.
You were born into a toilet, is that correct?
Oh, big facts. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Because I heard that. I'd seen it on a dating app. And can you tell us about that? Because I'm just curious what that means.
Yeah, I actually have a trifecta of toilet facts for you.
Okay.
I said this on a first date once, and it didn't go well. Didn't hear from him again. But this is my trifecta. So I was born on February 3rd, which is the day the toilet was invented. Fun fact. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Another fact. And I was born into a toilet. And I have an overactive bladder. I'm an overactive bladder survivor, as I like to say. So I'm in the toilet like a lot. So I feel like that's like a crazy coincidence to happen. But anyway, okay. So here's how I was born into a toilet. I wasn't coming out of my mom. And the doctor...
Was she trying to go to the bathroom or was she...
Well, she was trying to give birth to me. Like she was in labor.
In the toilet?
No. She was just like pushing. Like I wasn't coming out. I was just like chilling in the cocoon, like vibing out there.
Okay.
And the doctor was like, well, why don't you try going to the bathroom? Like sometimes, gravity can help things like move a little faster. And she's like, okay. So she just went to the bathroom with her doctor. And I just like all of a sudden shot out. And the doctor had to like catch me before I fell into the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. But I didn't hit the toilet. And like people always like, did you land in your mom's poop? And I'm like, no, you were disgusting. The doctor caught me.
At that point, there's enough fluids going around anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
but
and if you're born into human feces, your life can only get better from there. So.
Right? That's the thing. If something poops on you, then you have good luck. I think if you're born into poop, you're good luck forever, right? Yeah.
Right.
So I was born into a toilet. Yeah.
Cool. And now you use it on the dating app.
I didn't use it on a dating app. I said it on a date. Like this guy was like, "Tell me something crazy about you," and I was like, "Which one should I pull?" So I pulled that one, and he like looked really grossed out. And then I was like, "And then the toilet's invented on February 3rd. Isn't that crazy?" And he like didn't give a fuck. And then I was like, "And then I have an overactive bladder," and he was like, "Get me the fuck out of here." I was like, "Anyway, tell me about you."
You're in a relationship now, right?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, but I did see that on your first rounds of me profile.
Oh,
As one of the prompts. Yeah, you said that.
Hell yeah.
If you got drunk with your parents or whatever the prompt was, they would probably tell you, and that's what.
That I was born into a toilet, and they will. They'll tell you that sober too. They're very excited about that.
Interesting. Well, you're a survivor in many ways. Yeah.
I'm a survivor in many ways. Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging
you're thriving,
that. Yeah.
Too. Not just surviving. Yeah.
Were you guys born into anything crazy or just regular hospital stories?
I think I was just born.
Yeah, we were born into Staten Island, which is crazy enough.
You were born in Staten Island?
You were born into a toilet as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah.
You guys are survivors,
too. We made it out. Yeah.
Staten Island is a vibe.
Yeah, it really is. So for people that don't know, like we've done a lot of stuff with you over the past couple months. Chaotic Singles is your thing, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about that and let the people know what it's all about?
Yeah, for sure. So I started Chaotic Singles kind of accidentally. I was just like painfully single in LA for the last 5 years. And I'm sure you guys know, like dating here is a fucking dumpster fire. I'm allowed to curse on this, right? I'm just letting them fly. So hopefully that's cool. And so I was tired of going on really bad dates. I was tired of really awkward first dates, like the conversation going nowhere and just being like so uncomfortable. So I was like, let's make dating fun again. So this past Valentine's Day, I told my single girlfriends to invite a random man off a dating app to my house for this like mega first date house party. And so we invited 65 men off Tinder and gave them all my personal address and how to get into my building. So great idea.
So you had 65 friends?
No, I only had 9 girlfriends, but men started dropping out because it was Super Bowl weekend. And I think also the idea of going to a stranger's house started to get to some of them. So we had 9 confirmed, and then they dropped out. And then the girls were like, maybe we shouldn't do this. And I was just like, no, this is a great idea. We need to keep doing. So then I personally swiped on 65 men and just shot out my address to all of them.
So that's how many showed up, and there was a 65 to 10 ratio?
I would say about 40 showed up. So there was like a 40 to 10 ratio.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Were they disappointed when they got there that there were so few women?
No,
I feel like that's like a bait and switch.
A little bit, yeah. But I think everyone was just like kind of, what's cool about that is like the guys who came were the sweetest, coolest guys ever. I mean, there were some weirdos and there were some, that didn't get along with the group. But for the most part, everyone kind of had that same energy of like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this. And even though it's a little bit crazy, like, let's see what happens. So everyone was in a really good mood and we all got along like really well. And like no one murdered us and no kidnaps or anything. Nice. So yeah, it was super fun. And then I put all that on TikTok, and specifically I like set up my phone halfway through the party and I asked everyone to like tell me who they were crushing on and who they were vibing with. And
so that's how the confessional started.
That's how confessional started. Wow. I really started that because I wanted to know if the guy I invited liked me, because I'm in middle school. And so I was like, let me put my phone in the bathroom and I'll ask everyone, specifically him, to go confess the tea. And so it turns out he did like me. He's now my boyfriend.
Oh, it's the same guy.
That's my boyfriend, yeah.
Shit. So he started in the toilet as well.
It all comes back to the
Yes.
toilet, honestly. No, I actually met him in real life, but then I invited him as my date to this thing.
Okay.
And yeah, he came and he had a great time. And I always said like my kind of guy would be interested in something like this, even though it's crazy. Like my guy would be like, that's fun. I'm going to go. But yeah, so we did the confessionals. I put them up on TikTok and then they got like millions of views. I was like in the news. My parents were very mad at me. And then
Because this was during COVID too, right? So wasn't it a little?
it was like in February. It was kind of like the lockdown had just lifted. So it
Okay.
was a little bit, yeah.
Oh, it's like a year later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 21. February 21.
No, this was this year, February 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was not
Swear.
like just lifted, but people had just started kind of going out again, which I think is why it was such a big thing is that people were like ready to date in person again, you know?
Wow. So that's only been about 8 months.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been blowing up for longer than that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Wow.
No, just 8 months. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to like make the most out of this moment because I feel like it's a moment in my life, but it's just been a very hectic and wild 8 months, honestly.
And,
Yeah.
And then you've parlayed that into
Actual
obviously
events.
now doing actual chaotic singles, and that's how we partnered.
Yeah, yeah. So after that first viral moment, like all the new TikTok people who found me were like, do it again, like do another party. This looks so fun. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna do it at my house again because my parents like will kill me and I might get killed. So I like talked to this venue that I've worked with before, just like for my birthday party. And I was like, hey, can I rent this place out for a singles party? It might be like 10 people, it might be 100. And the guy and I are good friends. And he was like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Nice.
And then 500 people came and it was this like wild party. I like raffled off an electric bike from Super 73 that made absolutely no sense. And that after that, it was like, oh, this is something special. And so I've been doing them monthly ever since in LA. And then we did one in New York together.
That's amazing. Yeah. So it seems like Joe said, it's blown up. So how much of your time does it take up these days?
Yeah, now it's kind of replaced my main source of income. It's
Okay.
kind of become my main gig at the moment. Yeah, at first I was kind of trying to make both work, and then I was like, this is definitely pulling me. And to do it well, I think it needs to kind of be a full-time job because you're always meeting people and thinking of new ideas and trying new venues. And, you know, I'm just trying to make it something that it lasts longer than like a fleeting viral moment, you know?
Sure. Oh, what was the other job?
I actually also run a social media marketing agency. And so I started my own business doing that like 5 years ago. And I still have my agency. I just now do more of like a managerial role as opposed to I was doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff before this happened. And now I kind of manage my team who does the day-to-day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say are the biggest takeaways that you've learned so far from like, or feedback from people about dating in general, dating in LA and stuff like that
Yeah.
from doing the events?
From doing the events. Well, the confessionals are really interesting because people will tell you everything in those confessionals. And I watch them after every party, and there's like an hour and a half worth of kind of just people confessing what it's like to date in LA and the struggles they've had and what they're thinking about. I think probably my two main takeaways are, well, the first is I really believe there's a seat for every butt in this world. And sometimes, you know, people of all backgrounds come to these parties and they're all different characters, and some of them are wacky and some of them are wild and some of them are shy and some of them are outgoing, you know? And I've sometimes have been like, oh, you're a specific like flavor of person. I'm not sure if I'll find someone for you at this event, you know? And then like an hour later, I see that guy making out with a girl and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like you found the other wacky one, you know?
It's interesting you say that because when we've done the partnerships with you, we see people walk in, obviously, because we're getting them to download the app.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could kind of, like you said, feel out, oh, I don't know if this person's going to connect tonight.
Yeah.
And then I would watch the confessionals the next day, and it's that person with
Right.
like 3 girls around him. I'm like, all right.
I know.
Yeah, it was good.
Sometimes it's like that specific, like, even though that might not be the guy I would go up for, like there is someone at this party that is interested in that, you know? And I think that has been like the coolest thing I've like watched happen, where I'm like, well, that guy will definitely find someone like this. And then he finds someone totally different. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like that's who you should be with, you know? So I think that's kind of one of my bigger takeaways is I'm like, oh, there really is somewhere out there for everyone. Like,
Or enough alcohol out there for everybody.
or
Yeah,
enough
I wanna know
alcohol
that.
out
Yeah.
there for everyone. That's true too. That definitely helps.
No, that's nice. It really is cool that you bring people together that otherwise may not, you know, maybe they're not the most social, or maybe they just haven't had the chance to get into a situation to meet a lot of people. So giving them the opportunity to meet multiple people in one setting where everyone is kind of there for the same interest is super cool. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been honestly like the ride of my life to be part of this and kind of be able to connect with these people, and the sweetest, kindest people come to the events, and I feel really lucky to be a part of
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I think one thing we've been talking about since doing this is getting more men to these events, right? So
Yeah.
why do we think it's a challenge? You know, obviously because I think men want to hook up or connect with people as well.
Yeah.
But from our standpoint and yours, why do we think it's difficult to just get men to feel comfortable doing this?
I know. That's a good question. Some parts of me wonder if LA is more of like a buyer's market or a seller's market. Like I wonder in just like the straight community if there's more men here than women. And so men might not need the like event to find someone because they can just go to a bar and pull someone. Whereas like women, there maybe are more eligible women in this city. So then they can't just like find someone at a bar all the time. I've wondered that. I've also wondered like, if it's just kind of the nature of it kind of scares men sometimes, you know, like they're going to go to a bar and all these, everyone is single. Like that kind of is freaky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or can be.
And I think men don't take rejection as well. And they have a lot of pride and ego.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think going into those situations, I've seen from all the events we do, women are just put themselves out there and they're so comfortable and confident. And then the guys just, they don't want to get rejected. And I think they block themselves a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Out of protection.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I can definitely see that. And I think once they get there though, they realize like, oh, this is really cool. Like every guy who's come has been like, oh my God, that was so fun. And like, I got so many numbers and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's not enough for you. So you're like, you're going to do well at these events if you aren't like a psychopath, you know? But I also think like logistically, a lot of my audience is women and a lot of like the female TikTok dating audience is women. Like the people talking about dating on TikTok are often women. People struggling with dating on TikTok are often women. You know what I mean? So I know for me, like logistically speaking, I have more women following me than men. And so the men often just don't hear about it. And when I go, like I recently went to fire stations in LA and talked to firemen and was like, you should come to my events. They were like, that seems impossible that the ratio that you struggle to find men. They were like, that seems impossible that you have 200 women and 80 men. Like it's usually the reverse at a club or at a bar. Like there's usually never enough women. And I was like, no, it's true. I just don't think men know about this, you know? And I don't know how to get the word out without partnering with like a male influencer who I don't necessarily align with. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm sure you could find one though if you like. It may be few and far between, but if you find one, I think it'd be good. But
yeah,
are you still like at this point? You have a pretty good ratio, right?
This point, yeah. I've realized like raffling something off that incentivizes women to bring men has been really great. Like we raffled off Balesa vibrators, and those are high quality vibrators. So when I did that, and I was like, every single man you bring, you get another raffle ticket to win a vibrator. Women were bringing like 5 dudes, and I was like, that's right. This vibrator will change your life.
So
that
one
worked.
vibrator is worth 5 guys. Wow.
Honestly, that one vibrator might be worth 20 guys. If you guys should look into Balesa vibrators. Whew.
That's why I watch if I watch porn, it's on Balesa.
Shut up, really?
Yeah.
It's
Balesa?
really good porn.
Yeah.
What's
and
that?
it's like grass-fed, cage-free porn, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's cows?
I don't know. I forgot what's the term they use.
I don't know
I know
either.
that's not it, but it's basically like
porn for women is kind of how they describe it, which basically means it's like a little bit more by the books. Like everyone, like
Gets
the way they
treated
paint.
well.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
treat everyone really well.
It's Balesa.com?
Yeah.
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 And it's really good porn. And you can pay
So-
for it too, but the free stuff's good too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So I
Mom.
had this conversation with my brothers the other day on porn websites.
Yeah.
And they were like, you watched that website? And they said it was from the 90s. And I was like, really?
What website?
So UJIS.
Huge.
So I used UJIS, and they were all like, well, what do you mean?
Jizz.
UJIS.com. Yeah. So
Ujizz.com.
yeah. And
Wait,
I love it,
picturing
right?
you typing in ujizz.com
He
is
doesn't
so...
type. It's in his favorite.
Yeah, it's a staple. You just put the Y in, and it's good.
They're like, we got you, Joe.
But they were making fun of me, and then I guess I did some research, and it's very outdated, but I love it.
Well, hey,
So maybe I have to
whatever
know
does it
soul.
for you.
Yeah, he's an old soul.
It's like old people fucking. Joe's like, yeah, you jizz.
All right, Balesa.
You should check out Balesa, yeah.
Okay.
They're not even paying me to say this, but I love them.
We'll at them or something.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was going to say is what I like about the events also, and I actually have not really been inside of one yet, and I regret that. We've just been going from event to
Outside.
event.
No, you're good.
But basically, that you actually do stuff inside.
Yeah.
It's not just like herding everybody in and letting them roam. It's like actually doing little games and getting people engaged. And I think that's super cool. And I think that's where probably people come away like, oh, that was so fun. And like, it's more engaging and it's more like getting them out of their comfort zone, but like pushing them a little bit, like just nudging them to do stuff. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely learned that by like trial by fire with those activities, because the first party I just herded everyone in because I'm not an event planner. I don't really know what I'm doing. And everyone just got in there, and then I like got on the mic and I was like, what do I say? So I was like, if you're single, make some noise. And everyone like made noise. And I was like, if you found someone you're excited about, like make some noise. And it was like dead quiet. And I was like, what the fuck? This is a bar of singles. Like no one's met anyone. So really it's like half the audience who comes is like shy. This is like them putting themselves out of their comfort zone, taking a leap of faith, and they need a little extra help once they get there. And then half the audience is like the chaotic queens that I am, and they just like mingle and do their own thing. So after that first party, I was like, oh, I think I need to help them a little bit, like get out of their shell, kind of just break the ice. And then once the ice is broken, like conversation starts flowing. And so I do a few games at the beginning, a few games in the middle, just trying to like make everyone feel calm, and you can feel it in the room. Mm-hmm. Like once I play that first game, I feel like the buzz just starts getting louder after that. And I'm like, okay, we were all nervous and we're all going to be okay, you know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And what percentage would you say come back to like the next event, or like is it carryover?
Yeah, I would say like there's like a return ratio of like 20 to 30%.
Okay.
Yeah. We definitely have this like community now of chaotic singles that I've seen at every single event for the last like 8 months. Now they're kind of just my friends really. And we have this community, and everyone like checks in on each other and meets up, and we like now hire each other for jobs in the industry and stuff.
That's cool.
So it's kind of turned into like little friend group, which is really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
nice.
love that.
That's
And to that point, when we did Steve on the Street, when he goes around interviewing people, we had someone who had these cards, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, why don't you use these? So Steve starts using them with a few people on the street. And then we got this big audience because it was so engaging and people felt comfortable. And yeah, I think it makes everyone a little more comfortable and enjoying, okay, this is fun. Let's be part of this, and we could be ourselves.
Yeah, I think dating's like really vulnerable for people, you know? And so like I think at the beginning you feel all that sort of like middle school nerves all over again, right? You just like want to be picked to go to prom or the middle school dance, or like be picked to go on the sports team. And so I think at the beginning everyone's just like nervous and scared, and like once you can have a conversation and break the ice and remind people it's just supposed to be fun, it's just about connection, it doesn't have to be so, you know, high stakes intense. Like I think that's when you really get to see the real people come out, you know?
Yeah.
The real personality.
Yeah. What was your dating life like before you met your person?
Tragic is
Okay.
one word I would use to describe it. Chaotic is another one. No, I mean, I just tried to date kind of like everyone in the city. Just get a full palette of what it's like in LA to date. I dated like Equinox trainers. I dated a professional magician.
Which Equinox?
West Hollywood Equinox. Ooh. Yeah, he still works there. So
Oh,
yeah.
We still go there. So,
Yeah, well, you should say hi to this guy.
Okay.
No, I dated like professional magicians. I dated writers. I dated kind of I tried everything, you know, and I just never quite found like a person that was my person. So I was single for 5 years, just kind of hopping from person to person, trying to figure out kind of like who I was in this world, you know? Yeah, it was a little rough,
I think
to be honest.
That's probably an underrated aspect, is people learning about themselves and finding out about themselves, especially if you don't date a lot or you don't go out and do stuff a lot. Like you only kind of change and evolve as you do things, you get new experiences. So I think it's important to actually get out there and meet people and do different things like that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you like really do learn about yourself, because even guys that were like perfect on paper, like very nice, had a job, didn't live on a couch, you know,
had a bed frame.
Had a bed frame, you know, like had a job, all these things. I was like, wow, like, I mean, maybe that's a bare minimum, but you don't always get that in LA. I was like, this should be someone I connect with. Like, this is like a guy who's perfect on paper. Like, why am I not interested in this, you know? And then it's just about like learning like, oh, you know, I really like a partner who does this. I really like a partner who likes to go out. Like, I love going out and having fun. And sometimes I was dating guys who were more quiet, you know? And so kind of all those dating experiences like taught me so much about myself and gave me amazing dating stories. So like, I think it's never a waste, but it is kind of a roller coaster in this city, I think.
Yeah. And I think what you said, right? As you get older, you figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And just because someone's not your person, you shouldn't take it personal, right? I think when we're younger, a lot of people take that personal.
Yeah.
And like, what's wrong with me? What, like you said, this person's great on paper. They make me laugh. They're funny. They're good looking.
Yeah.
Why don't they like me?
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with anything. It's just not your person. And don't change who you are.
Yeah.
Right? It's just you'll meet your person. And as you get older, you realize, okay, I'm me.
Right.
I'm comfortable with being me.
Yeah.
And I'll find someone who likes me for me.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's like a lesson I felt like I was still learning like 5 minutes ago. Like, I don't even think it's a younger lesson. I feel like you have to get to that place. And I think once you get to that place dating, that's when you are most eligible to meet your person. I think when you have that like attitude of like, if you're not into it, all good. This
more
is what I'm
attractive.
dishing out. Right.
Yeah.
This is what I'm dishing out. If you want to have a bite, it's all yours. You know what I mean? But it takes you a second. I think people still, at my age and older, I think take rejection so seriously. It has to mean there's something wrong with me. It has to mean I'm doing something wrong. Like, what's wrong, you know?
Yep.
And I like keeping like, it's not you. Like, there is a seat for your butt. It's coming. You just have to keep dating, you know, and keep getting rejected. And, you know, we've all been rejected. You just got to keep going.
Exactly.
Do you think that your experience as an actor has helped with the dating?
Oh, because I'm used to getting rejected? Yeah. I mean, maybe.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying
No,
life of
an
actor is a lot of rejection, right?
It is. No, 100%. I think maybe, yeah. I definitely, like, as I got more comfortable in that role, and professionally, I can get more comfortable with it in my relationships as well. But I think I just, like, at one point just started doing it for the plot, and that made dating a lot more fun. So I was like, what is this? Like, who is this guy? Like, the wildest Hinge profile of my life. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. I was like, I'll either have a great date, a great story, or he'll harvest my organs. Like, whatever.
Still a great story.
Still
Netflix
a great story,
doc.
you know?
Definitely.
Then
Netflix
she'll be in a
doc,
Netflix doc. She'll have made it, you know? That's what I wanted.
But I think that's amazing for your going back to your events, because like you seem to be, I bet you're kind of rare. Like you're willing to go out there, put yourself out there, try new things, overcome failure. And a lot of people aren't. So like putting these events on gives people the opportunity to get out and do something they wouldn't normally do if they're not like you, which I guess I don't think there's many like you.
Oh, well, thank you. It took me a second to get there for sure. And I think that like, I think the events are a special place in that way. Like even in New York, one of the girls said she came to the event as like a pregame and then they went to another bar to enjoy the rest of their night kind of thing. And she said that they went to another bar and immediately the energy was so different. It was like they walked in kind of with the same like open, excited energy they had at my event. And then they walked into the other bar and everyone was like kind of looking at them like weird, like, why are you guys here? Like, what are you wearing? She was like, all of a sudden I felt so self-conscious. I realized I still had my name tag on from your event. So I took that off. She was like, all of a sudden I just felt like, oh my God, we are now in the jungle and it is not like, where's Cassidy? This is not the same vibe at all. So I really like, when she told me that, I like took so much pride in that. I was like, wow, I love that. I love that at these events, there's this energy that everyone is single, everyone's kind of open and looking for something, and it's a safe space for the most part.
Yeah, and now your events, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to invite someone from a dating app as a date to the event, and then it's kind of a free-for-all if they don't like each other.
Yeah, so that's how the party originated, right? Like we all invited someone from a dating app to my house. So I wanted to keep that as part of the party. And I also thought if people did that, that would help me with the ratio situation, both in the heterosexual community. Like if you invite a man from a dating app, now the number of straight men there are higher, but also in the queer community. Like if you're queer and you invite someone queer off a dating app, now that queer community is that much bigger at the events as well.
Smart.
You know, that was my whole goal. The number of people who actually do that are not as high as I would like. I'm going to try to incentivize more people to do that. But yeah, I mean, ideally you bring someone off a dating app and this is your first date. And it doesn't even have to be someone you're like interested in actually getting to know. Like it can just be someone you're physically attracted to or that you think would be fun. And you bring them. And if you guys get along during the first like intro games and you want to stick with him, love that. If you realize he's a total doornail, throw him into the ocean and keep fishing. You know what I mean? But I think it makes it more fun because so many first dates I would show up to them and I'd be like, oh my God, you look nothing like your photos, or you were so funny on the app and turns out like you need a screen to be funny. You know what I mean? Like in person you are not the same.
For sure. Do you have any long-term goals with this, or are you just kind of taking it step by step?
Yeah, I'm kind of taking it step by step. I hope to be able to like travel city to city to do that. That's definitely my number one request is to go to a city near them and throw the party and kind of do it that way. So I would love to do that. I would also love to turn it into some sort of TV show, which I'm kind of working on. So that would be amazing. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to bring people together. And I believe in love so much. I've always been a hopeless romantic. So kind of getting to see this happen like on a live in front of me is very special. And I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah. And it's awesome how our community and our concept goes hand in hand with yours
Hand
to just
in hand.
get people out there, have fun.
Yeah. I know
and to
you
have
guys
something
believe
to
that
do.
too.
Yeah. Get off the app, go to an event like a Chaotic Singles or a bar, have a drink, and just see what happens.
Yeah. Is that why you guys did From? It was like, let's make dating fun again.
Yeah, well, kind of similar to you, right? I would go on dates for research.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I would take every date to just see why people didn't like the apps.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get the same story.
Yeah.
And you kind of build a narrative in your head. Okay, how could I make each thing solved? And then it was pretty much people just really want an organic, in-person connection right away.
Yeah.
Instead of this ongoing meet through the phone, pen pal thing. And they just wanted to get out there.
Now, were you doing this research when you were single or when you were?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that was going to be my other question, right? So you and I are in really unique positions, right?
Right. Yes.
We throw events or companies revolved around single people finding love, and we're around a lot of single people all the time.
Yeah.
You're in a relationship. I'm in a relationship.
Yes.
How does your partner handle all that?
You know, that is a really good question. I'm curious for your answer to this too, because it is an interesting position, right? And what's weird is that I was single for so long in the city, and no hot men were in my DMs. Like, let's be honest. You know what I mean? Like, very rarely. Now I have tons of single, good-looking men in my DMs who are not necessarily looking to date me. They're looking to come to my party. But either way, I'm like, where were all of y'all when I was fucking dating magicians? Like, where were you? So it is interesting. I feel really lucky that my boyfriend is very secure, which I think I require in a partner. And I've learned that I need that without intentionally finding someone who is super secure. But he is like insanely secure, and he trusts me wholeheartedly. And so I will sometimes check in with him to make sure like we're good and like that I didn't cross a line, or like even going to the fire stations, you know, like I was walking in to a group of 20 male firefighters and being like, hey, you know, like come to my party. And I was like, you know, like, is that uncomfortable for you? Like, you know, I made sure to say like, it's not for me, but my parties, blah, blah, blah. Right. But he is like so secure. Like every time I check in with him, he's like, no, I mean, as long as you're not flirting with them, or it's like, as long as you're not fucking them, we're good. And I was like, no, I'm definitely not, you know? So I think I feel really lucky. And I also think like he knows I've been through the ringer of my singledom in LA, and I don't necessarily miss it. So no part of me is like looking for what else is out there. Right. You know what I mean? I like am stupid in love with him, and I know that he is a prize, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that to like have a one night hookup.
That's awesome.
As much as I love my singles, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you? How has your partner been in this?
Yeah. So same thing, right? When I started this, I was single.
Yeah.
So when I met someone, if I had met her and she wanted to take me away from my dream, which was to be an entrepreneur and to start this, I probably wouldn't have been as attracted to her. Yeah. Because I think it's really attractive to be with somebody who allows you to live your dream and not interrupt that, right? So that was one thing. Yeah. But then it's also, like you said, communication and making them feel safe, always checking in, like, you know, how do you feel? So I try and do that as often as I can, and she's just great about it. Yeah. And yeah, I think another thing that I really like is if I was single making this, it could come off the wrong way, right? Like I'm making a dating app to hook up with people. And what if I do hook up with someone who's at an event and the story gets changed? Yeah. So I really like that it allows me to be so genuine, where everyone I meet, I have no interest in. I'm just being nice, trying to help them. Yeah. And there could be no lines crossed, because there just can't be, because I'm in a committed relationship. Totally. So it just really works out well. But yeah, to make sure I check in with her and she's happy and okay. Yeah. Because we're the ones doing this stuff. They're the ones allowing us, or not allowing us, but observing and supporting us. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's the key word, supporting us. They fully support us, which makes it nice that we found partners like that. 100%. And I think like our intention is we're not like playing a skeezy game, right? And so I think both of our partners probably sense that. And so they're supporting us like living our dream, as opposed to like trying to do something that we're not. But it's interesting is that I've been asked recently, like, do you wish you could experience one of your actual chaotic singles parties single? Because I've always like, I invited my boyfriend now to the first one in February. And now every single one, he's been my date, or then we're dating and he doesn't come because it's my job now. You know what I mean? But someone was like, have you never experienced your own party single? Like, do you wish you could? And I wonder if you feel this way. Like, I think I'm better at this job because I'm not single. Like, if I go into my own party single, I don't think I'd be like as in tune with everyone. I don't think I would have like thought of ideas on games and stuff. Like, I think my main goal would have been to find a guy, and I would not be a good host because I would be trying to find a guy, you know what I mean? And maybe I'd like leave early with the guy and not make sure the event goes well to the end of the night. You know what I mean? Like little things. I'm like, I think I'm better at this job now because I understand singledom, but I am no longer single. Yeah. Do you feel like that? Yeah, I think spot on. And I think it goes to what I just said is I can't get distracted by if there's a pretty girl and I'm like, oh, I want to follow her around and like get her number and hook up with her. Yeah. And now being in a relationship, I go into it as work. I don't drink. Right. Yeah. I still do, but I respect that. But I just focus on connecting with people and trying to help them.
Yeah.
And I think it allows me to really, I want to be genuine.
Yeah.
That's the goal for me, is to be genuine, make the app genuine. And if I wasn't in a relationship, maybe I wouldn't be genuine because I would have some ulterior motive that
Totally.
I don't want.
Yeah, and you don't want to, especially as the like guy who's running it, you don't want to be the guy who hooks up with someone and then you see them at the event later. Like that would be so, I feel like that would be so uncomfortable for me. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, and especially now in today's world.
Yeah.
Say I hook up with somebody and they don't like me, we have a falling out.
Yeah.
They could spin a story and then who knows where that could go.
Yeah.
And it's just so relaxing to know that there's no possibility of any of that happening.
Right.
You know? So
it's off the table.
Yeah.
And so then when you go to these events, do you feel like you can't like shit where you eat a little bit?
Yeah, I try to keep that mindset.
Yeah.
'Cause same thing as he just said is like I wouldn't want to do anything to put the app or myself in a position to, you know,
At risk.
Yeah, ruin things or look bad and I think like I'm a little older and more mature now anyway, so
yeah,
I can keep it business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I think going back to what you guys were saying, like, because I've been single for a long time, and I think it's a similar concept where like if I take the because now I don't have any like goal to get married. Like if I do, I do. Like I don't have a goal, so that's like taking a lot of pressure off of me to like.
Yeah.
I think being like outcome independent of any sort of like when I go out on one night or in the big picture, it allows me to be like do better with women in general. Because like not that I don't care, but I don't have a care about the outcome. So it's kind of like what you're saying about you go to these events, you can focus on the event. Now when I go out, I just go out to have fun and go out to do my thing, just enjoy it. And if I meet someone, then it's much different than if a guy was to go out like with the goal of finding someone. Puts a lot of pressure on them, and it makes them probably a little more like uptight and probably comes off with the wrong energy. So
I was gonna say that energy too, I'm sure attracts people to you, because that is the kind of energy that is very attractive at a bar. But I do have a question for you, Steve. Because on behalf, actually, I've been asked this many times, so I come with all the single ladies who've asked me this question.
okay.
They wonder why you are single. And I hate this. I hated this question when I was single. But to hype you up, like you are tall, attractive, good at your job.
Stop. Okay.
Charismatic.
Keep going.
I mean, with like, you know, I'm very fond of you as a human being.
Thank you,
and
Cassidy.
people often are like, that front door guy's single. Like the, you know, the guy at the door, they're like, those are the two hottest guys here. Why'd you put them outside? You know, they're always asking me about you. And I'm always like, you know what? I'm not sure why he's single. I'm sure it's his choice though, because you could be drowning in pussy. I want to say that on
Say it a little louder, Cassidy. Did you say that a little louder?
No.
She said drowning in pussy.
I hope you are. Respectfully.
No. Thank you. First of all, thank you. I'm like a mess half the time though, so you only see the behind the scenes
I
stuff.
don't believe that.
No, I'm not a mess, but
I was like, I don't think so.
No, I don't know. I'm very picky and very, you
Yeah.
know, like right now we're focused on the app and I'm focused on like more
Yeah.
career stuff. So it doesn't mean I'm not looking,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
not like actively looking. Right.
Gotcha.
And he's heard me say this like 50 times probably, but like I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I just kind of live my life. And if I meet somebody, then we connect and I want to pursue it, then that's kind of how I do it.
Yeah.
And I think like, I don't know, dating is a lot of work, and
It is.
like we were talking about this too. And I was talking to somebody else about like people complain about the other apps, right? They say that, excuse me, you got any water over there?
Sorry, I put the hot seat on you.
No. My throat is dying right now.
I was like, why
He's
are you
drowning in all that
single,
pussy.
Steve? Yeah.
Drowning in.
He's just drowning in pussy. That's all. Sorry. I need to watch my mouth sometimes. My mom's going to listen to this and be like, Cassidy,
Oh,
why did you
my
say
mom
that? I'm
started
like,
listening to
it's
some
true,
stuff.
Mom.
No,
Sorry,
but
you were saying.
no, basically, so people on the other apps, right? They say like people message back and forth all the time, never meet up, and that's the problem that we're trying to solve. That,
Yeah.
Right. That Joe set out to solve. And I think the thing is, a lot of times too, people also are not willing to commit to a date, right? Unless it's like they say they want that, but when push comes to shove, it's like they don't want to commit. They don't want to, you know, block off the time, shower, do all their thing, get ready, then
Yeah.
go to the place, spend the money, do the thing. So like, I feel like that's one of the reasons too. Like, I really need to be into somebody to know that I want to even go on one date with them, right?
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, kind of a personal thing. I'm also very comfortable by myself, so like I don't need anybody to. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting home by myself all the time, but
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm just not actively.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm not actively like dating
Looking
a
for a
lot, or
partner.
So if something,
I get that.
yeah.
Well, I feel like when I was in the height of my pursuit, sometimes dating was 5th or 6th on my list of priorities. Just, you know,
exactly.
because if you're really working hard at something, especially like launching a whole ass company app, like that's a lot of work. And when I was like in the height of like really pursuing acting and stuff, and when it was like really busy for me, which like, it goes in phases, right? When I was in a really busy phase, I was like, you know what? I've been working so hard. I've been on set every single day. I have one night off this week. I don't really want to spend it with a stranger at a bar. I want to spend it with my friends, or I want to spend it alone.
I just want to take my pants off and sit on the couch and watch
my gosh,
TV.
you know? So I get that. Like sometimes when you're like, I think busy in one department of your life, it's like, this is the season for this, and that's okay, you know? And are you enjoying being single?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And again, if someone comes along and I want to pursue it and see what happens, then So
And
I like that.
yeah, and I think Steve balances me out very well with the app because obviously I'm in a relationship, right? So for me, like we said, it's very much focused on helping people, but make sure the app's working.
Yeah.
And him being single and being, you know, good looking and charming and amazing, it gives that allure to these people, right? Like, oh, Steve's single. Like Joe might not be single, but Steve is, and it's enticing, but he handles it so well in a way that he is, right?
Yeah.
He's not out there just being like, oh, I'm part of this dating app, I'm gonna sleep with all these women.
Yeah.
He's so righteous and genuine himself that it just makes everything between him and I so uniform, and it just makes us both look so genuine. Which that's why I love working with him. So it really balances me out.
Thank you both.
No, for real. I mean, I feel like you guys are two guys in the app world and in tech and in dating, and like the potential for y'all both to be like pretty skeezy, gross dudes is high, right? And neither one of you have ever been like that. I feel like you guys are both such kind, genuine humans, and I think that's why you guys will be successful. But I think that's like also so rare to find necessarily in your space, and it's very cool that you guys both like uphold those values, and I think it reflects really well on your app and your brand.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So how did you and your boyfriend meet, actually?
You know, I'm not the hero of this story, unfortunately for me, but I blacked out at a bar.
Okay. We've all been there.
You know, as you do.
Recently?
Yes.
Been there recently?
Oh, yeah? Okay, great. Well, maybe you can meet someone. I blacked out at a bar. I just had the worst date ever on a Friday night. So Saturday I went out with my girlfriend. And I was like, let's just black out. Blacked out. And then this random group of guys sat down next to us at the Belmont. If you guys have been there. Yeah. And my friend was like, why don't you tell them about this date you had and talk to them. And I think she was daring me. I don't think she think I would, but I was so drunk that I was like, fuck it. And so I turned to this group of guys and I was like, here's the worst date I've ever had. And like, let me tell you all about it. And then like one thing led to another and I told them all they should go like suck a dick. I don't really know why. But I told all of them to suck a dick.
This is blacked out.
And then I like mic dropped out of the bar and left. And my friend was like, you didn't get a single one of their numbers. They were all cute. And I was like, fuck those guys. I'll never see them again. And that was in November of last year. And then in January, I randomly went to this like rave downtown. And I'm not a big raver, but my sister's boyfriend is a professional DJ and he works in this space. And his promoters were doing an event and she was like, go, blah, blah, blah. So I went to the event to support family, whatever. And I never go. And it was like one of those exclusive downtown raves where they like text you the address like hours before and you're like, where the fuck am I? I was in there and I was again pretty drunk. And he walked in at like 1 a.m. And I was like, God, that guy looks so familiar. And I cannot put my finger on it. And my roommate was like, oh, maybe you worked with him. Or like, oh, maybe you took a class with him. Like trying to be like helpful. And I was like, that's not it. I don't know what it is. And then I went up to him and I was like, hey, you look so familiar. And I can't really put my finger on it. And he was like, yeah. Did you tell me my friends to suck a dick a few months ago at a bar? And I was like, oh my God. Like, you know, and your like flash memory happens and you're like, fuck. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was me. Did you suck a dick? And he was like, no, but I definitely need to get your number because that was the funniest shit ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then that night I just like made out with him a bunch because again, drunk, and then was like, we'll see if I ever hear from him again. But that was the best night of my life. And then he asked me out on a date and he specifically was like, let's get a coffee. Cause he was like, I want to make sure you're like normal. I've only ever seen you like blacked out and you were very fun, but I need to make sure you're like a good human. And then I showed up to the coffee and was like, I'm normal.
Slip some whiskey in your coffee.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm blacked out again. We did Molly on our
That's
coffee
amazing
date.
though. It's such a chance occurrence to go to the
I know.
rave and see him.
That is why I think that night I was like, that's weird. That never happens. Like I don't even run into people I know in the city, let alone a random guy at a bar, you know? So the fact that I ran into him again 3 months later, I felt like was totally weirdly fate. And so, yeah, I've been with him ever since.
Nice.
How long's it been?
Since we met, it's been about 10 months. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So before him, did you use dating apps or, I mean, obviously through the parties and stuff, but Did you enjoy them? Did you use them?
I did use them. That was pretty much, I think that's like how you meet people these days. You know, like when I tell people I met my boyfriend in a bar, they're like, really? That's so crazy, you know? So I was definitely like on them and using them. I didn't really love them. I always felt like I'm not sure if you can fully get who I am through an app. I'm not sure if I can fully understand who you are. And like, I feel like when you meet someone at a bar, you can just get their energy so quickly, you know? And on a dating app, I think sometimes there's just like a block. So I always struggle with it. I'd go through like phases, you know? I'd be on the apps and then I wouldn't. And I'd be on them and I wouldn't,
As
you know?
you do.
As you do. You delete them. You're never going to download them again. And then like 2 months later, you're like horny at midnight and you're like, download, you know?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, love-hate relationship with the apps for sure. But when they work, they really work. And, you know, I think if you're honest on the apps about who you are, I think you're that much more likely to find your person too.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, you don't actually know until you meet the person. Like they can have a great profile, but they could be a dud or there's just no spark.
I know.
When you see them. So
that's why I like
Get out of
y'all
the
so
house.
much. Cause yeah, exactly. It's like, let's just cut to the chase. You know, like I'm not trying to text you for a week. I was never that person. I was always like, let's get a drink. Let's go right now. Let's get a drink, you know? So I love that that's your whole thing.
Yeah.
If I were single, this would be my number one app.
So that's how Hannah and I met.
You met on Hinge, right?
Yeah, but the way that First Rounds on Me works, because she liked me.
Yeah.
And then we texted for a couple of minutes and I said, listen, I'm probably never going to speak to you on here again because, you know, you have all your connections and conversations and it was a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, Monday, I'm probably going to get a different connection and not even pay attention to her. So I said, if you really want to meet me, you know, let me know when you're free.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm free tonight. So I said, all right, I'll see you at this place at 8:00.
Free tonight.
Yeah, we met right away.
Oh my
on
gosh.
On that day.
No way.
And then that was it.
I like you're like, I'll never talk to you again. Meanwhile, Hannah is like this gorgeous model from Australia. Like, I think you might have maybe prioritized that match over a few of the others.
Also, as you know, people don't really look like themselves, right? So I saw her profile.
Yeah.
And of course, it was
and you were
enticing.
like, hubba.
But you don't know. So you're like, oh, it's probably fake profile. Let's see if she wants to meet. If she wants to meet, maybe she's real.
Yeah.
But if not, maybe she's just, you know, fake profile.
Yeah, that's true.
So
When she showed up, were you like, oh.
Yeah, I was
goddamn.
excited, but I had that reservation, you know?
No, for sure. And especially like, I think when a model can sometimes mean a lot of things to a lot of people. She
Right.
happens to be like actually a model, but like, you know, a lot of people think they're models. Well, I can confirm Hannah is gorgeous and very sweet.
Thank you.
You
She
found a
loves
good
you
one.
too, by the way.
I'm
She
a
says
big
hello
fan.
from Australia.
Oh my God. She is Australian, right? As I
Yeah,
said that,
yeah.
I was like, she's Australian, right? She has a cool accent. That's all I know.
So what's next for Chaotic Singles for you? What's coming up? So it's what is it? November 10th-ish?
November 10th-ish.
What do we got coming up?
We have Chaotic Singles Giving on November 18th. So a Chaotic Singles Party at Shore Bar in Venice, Santa Monica. So we'll do that on November 18th. And then I'm going to throw a big old Chaotic Singles holiday party in December. We're going to get everyone dressed up, celebrate the end of the year, and maybe, you know, get one last hurrah in before you go off to the holidays.
I saw on Instagram you were doing a name for the party.
Oh, yeah.
What were the top three besides? So what is the one?
The
that
one
was
I
in?
chose is Chaotic Singles Giving, but I did do a poll and I asked people to like suggest names and themes. But unfortunately, a lot of them were not ones that I could like pitch to sponsors. I had Chaotic Spanksgiving, Chaotic Skanksgiving, Chaotic Bangsgiving, and then Chaotically Stuff Her Like a Turkey, which I was like, yeah, let me just get a sponsor doing like picturing me on Zoom being like, would you like to come to my party? It's called Chaotically Stuff Her Like a Turkey. Like no business is like, yeah, that passes legal. So I decided to do a very tame singles giving, but the unofficial, you know, theme is obviously Chaotically Stuff Her Like a Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you guys can make it.
We'll be there.
Awesome.
How about you guys? What's next for From?
Yes. So we have what 3 events this month? The Brightly, USC, and
Soho House.
there was another one I'm missing. We partnered with these comedians.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pretty cool guys, and they're gonna do comedy singles nights. They're called comedy dance-offs.
No way.
So we're gonna do LA and New York, and LA is the 26th. So tell the community and come.
Yeah, I totally will.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a dance off?
So we rent out, I guess, a comedy theater. I don't know, I'm new to this.
Yeah.
And it was really cheap. But the comedians are pretty big names. And you go to the comedy show.
Yeah.
But then at 10:30, they remove all the chairs and it's like a dance party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just like a dance, like a club.
Yeah,
When you said dance off, I was like, is there like a
don't
talent
know.
show performance? I was like, God damn.
But
That
yeah,
sounds fun.
that's what's in the works for November. And then
Okay, hell yeah.
partnering with Chaotic Singles more. You know?
I mean, always.
Yeah.
From till I die. I always say I'm a slut for from. Put it right on my chest.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Yeah. So as we're building this community, right? It's not just the single people we're trying to help, but the business element of it, right?
Yeah.
So after meeting you, you've connected us to Allie, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Finding Mr. Height.
The best.
Steve's right next to me. So we're actually trying to do similar things we do with you in LA, in New York. And I know you and her are aligned. So it's like we're kind of building this whole big brand out.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're getting now Neft involved and Bespoke TV as you were on there. So it's kind of cool to see us all growing together. And you've kind of been so instrumental in facilitating all of this. So
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
yeah. And then introducing me to Chloe.
I was going to say, the one behind it all is Chloe, if
So
I'm going to be
Chloe
honest.
is Cassidy's publicist. Is PR and publicist the same thing?
It is the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. She's more my best friend, but also my publicist. Yeah.
And I assume by the time this airs, you and I are going to be so big. You, me, and Steve are going to be so big that
Yeah.
who the hell knows who's going to be listening to this? They're going to be like, obviously we know Chloe.
Yeah. Everyone knows Chloe, and we're all going to be on Jimmy Kimmel yesterday,
Yeah.
probably. By the time you listen to this, we're probably already on Jimmy Kimmel. No, Chloe's the best. She is a PR baddie, I would say, and was a Chaotic single for a long time, but is also recently off the market as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
It works, people.
It works,
Come
you
to
guys.
the events. Yeah.
Yeah, she found someone who's 6'7" and she's like 5 foot. I'm like, girl, you
She's
need a
5 foot?
stool. Yeah, she's
No,
like,
and he's 6'7".
Was
Yes.
he at Petit Taqueria?
no,
Okay.
he was at Sassafras though.
Okay.
Did you see him looming over everyone? Well,
At Petit,
probably
there was a
didn't.
big person at Petit that was bigger than me, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's huge.
But he was
Oh.
with Megan, no?
No,
Jacob?
not that one. Not that
Oh,
one.
it was,
Not Jacob.
Not Jacob.
We've talked about Jacob.
We
with,
talked
with
about
the girls.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Hey, I stand
Jacob?
Jacob. Hat guy.
Jacob, this
Yeah.
Meg's guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Or
Well,
head
Meg's
fished.
fun guy.
Um,
I think Taylor is who you're thinking of, the
Maybe.
taller guy.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime someone's over 6 foot at those events, everyone knows exactly who it is. It's like that guy.
But it's so interesting how if you're tall, you have such an advantage. And then if
Yeah,
you're
what
good
is
looking and you're
that?
tall, it's like not fair.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you guys lie about your height?
Well, he lies lower.
You
which I
lie
think-
lower.
I think that's so. I mean,
I don't lie.
I don't know why he
I'm
does.
so I'm 6'5" and 3/4.
Okay.
I just say 6'5".
Yeah, round up to 6'6" though.
So have you ever seen the movie The Internship
Yes.
with Will Ferrell and Will Ferrell's a small part, but it's Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Yes.
They get internships at Google, but Will Ferrell's character, he's like a dick, and he's talking to Vince Vaughn, and he's like, I'm handsome tall. You're the kind of tall when you walk through an airport, people look at you and stare. So like, there's definitely a cutoff. So I'm like, I'll just say 6'5". I'll size down.
Why?
I mean, I don't really care. Honestly, so when anybody asks me, I just say yes. I really don't. So if someone says 7 foot, I say yes. If someone says 6'2", I say yes. I just don't care.
You're like,
But you
yes,
know what's funny
tall.
is when there's a guy around who says they're like 6'3", and you can obviously tell he's not 6'3".
Yeah.
And then Steve walks next to them and he says,
No.
"I'm 6'5". The 6'3" guy is like,
Huh.
"Oh,
I wouldn't
maybe
just
I'm
say
not
that.
6'3".
I wouldn't just say, I'm
Maybe I'm
6'5".
not 6'3".
One of my friends is a woman. She's 5'10", and anytime a guy's like, "I'm 6 foot," she's like, "Stand up." I'm like, Lauren, you need to stop doing this because the whole night shifts like the vibe. Because then the guy's just sitting there in the corner, like immediately roasted that he's 5'9", and he's just like crying. And Lauren's like, "Anyway." But now that you're so tall, do you feel like you can be kind of a douche, or do you feel like you still have to have a good personality? Because I feel like when it goes to tall to good personality, like the taller you are, the worse personality I think you're allowed to have. Do you capitalize on that?
No, definitely not.
Maybe you should.
I don't want to be a douche, though.
But I've noticed,
But you could.
Maybe. That's not me, though.
but I've noticed
that's
fair.
That's fair.
all the friends that I have that are your height are actually nicer because Ryan told me this, that you're kind of seen your whole life as being tall and like the shadows on you where you kind of just like try and be nice and don't want to stand out more being a dick.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I do find myself like walking down the street, like if it's nighttime, and I'm like walking with like like my jacket and my hood or something if it's cold. And
Yeah.
I see somebody, I try to like smile and say hello because I don't want them to be like scared.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would be scary.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I do, but that's kind of my personality anyway. Is I
Yeah.
say hi to people and stuff. But Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm very much not one to generalize.
Yeah.
So some people are douchebags, some people aren't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It makes it nicer if tall guys are nice. My boyfriend's tall, and he's also very nice and like can be
How
a little
tall is he?
shy. He's 6'3".
Legit 6'3".
Legit.
He's tall.
I remember
6'3".
seeing him at the party. He was tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't measured him personally, but I do think he is actually 6'3".
Yeah, so I go up.
Okay, yeah. So how tall are you?
So I'm 5'11" and 1/8.
Okay.
But I go
You
full
round up. Yeah, I mean,
like
why
full
wouldn't you?
7/8 up to 6 foot.
Yeah, I like you guys are so precise in your measurement. How do you know? I guess it is such
It's
a
big
thing for guys.
Oh yeah.
Well, just playing
So you know
sports, they measure
exactly.
you like sometimes.
Okay,
like
okay.
barefoot.
Because I'm
And
like,
you
I'm
have sneaker
5'5",
height
but I
in
don't know
basketball.
like if I'm 3/4, 1/8 thing that you guys seem to have locked in.
So for me, it was diminishing to know that I was 5'11" and 1/8. I thought I was 5'11" and a half,
Yeah.
and the roundup would have been way easier.
Oh, easy.
So I guess I go from the 1/8 to the 6 is a lot. I might as
Do you
well
think-
just say I'm 6'3", but
I mean, you should just
Just
really
round
round
up
up,
all the way.
and no one will question you.
Do you think more guys round up on their height or their
Oh.
penis size?
Oh, I
Or
thought you were
both.
gonna say
I did
do they
that
round
as
up?
well.
Or
You rounded up on your penis size?
Yeah.
Do you
And
guys know your measurements of your penises, dude? You just know every
Yeah, I
dimension
did.
of your body?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I also always felt diminished in that area. And
Oh,
then
yeah?
Hannah was like, "Why would you ever feel diminished in that area?" I was like, "I don't know. It's like it's okay."
Porn.
She's like, "No."
You
it's-
jizz. We'll do that to you. Yeah.
So yes,
You
you
jizz will
jizz
fuck you up.
because it
You
was
jizz
90s
will mess
penises. So I'm still stuck with the 90s penises,
Well,
which are probably juiced up on steroids.
Yeah, 100% they
You
are.
know?
And I would say, I mean, people always say it's not about the size and about the motion of the ocean. Like, I fully believe that. I think that I have been with people who are quite equipped, and it sometimes is not fun. It's sometimes honestly just painful. Like, it's not enjoyable. So, like, have you ever heard what's that influencer guy? He calls it his boyfriend dick.
Yeah,
You
we
can-
talked about that.
So
Harry
I was
Jowsey.
just gonna say,
Yeah, yeah.
Hannah introduced me to the boyfriend
Yeah.
penis, and then we had Cammy and Nikki on who liked the boyfriend penis.
Yeah.
And I thought when Hannah told me I have a boyfriend penis, she was being nice. I was like that's such bullshit to just say like
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend penis. She's like, no,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
That's what we all want.
And then I started to realize, okay, so she's helped me realize that I'm fine.
yeah, you should own it.
You're more than adequate.
Have you guys seen each other?
Harry Jowsey. What up?
Yeah, shout out Harry Jowsey.
Get you on the pod.
Have you guys like seen each other's dicks and like touched tips and stuff? Or?
Not yet. I'm
No.
sure we'll have maybe a crazy drunk night where I'll be like, remember when Cassidy said I hadn't seen it?
You guys should. Me and Chloe like make out all the time, so you guys should join us
Joe's
over there.
bachelor party. We'll pull our dicks out. And,
Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah.
That should be when you do it.
I'll take a look. Kramer looked at George and Jerry. So
I think it doesn't hurt to look.
Yeah.
You gotta see what your, you gotta see what your partner's doing over there.
Yeah. What did you think I was going to say before?
I thought you were gonna say, do you think guys lie about their height on dating apps? And I was like, obviously,
okay.
of course they do.
Yeah.
I've met many a guy who I'm like, you lied for sure. I'm 5'5" and you said you were taller than me, and I'm in flats and I'm taller than you. But do they lie about their penis size or their height more?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just.
That's the question?
Yeah, well, I guess people aren't necessarily going around talking about their
Yeah, it's
penis
an
size.
intimate
Like,
thing.
how tall are you is a much more common question than how big is your penis.
Right. Wrongfully so, I think. I think let's just get right to the chase and be like,
The real question is how good is your penis? Probably.
true.
Yeah.
It's honestly
How good is
amazing
the
how
man
many guys
attached?
know how long theirs is. I guess if I had like a genital that was just hanging outside of my body, I'd probably measure it at some point too. But it's like, you guys
Especially-
all know your
Especially when you're
inches.
like 14, 15.
Oh, well, yeah.
I remember.
I think I'm still growing, to be honest.
You
I got a
think
couple.
you're still
I got a
growing?
couple years left. I don't get like a full beard, so I'm
6'7"
I'm
is on
holding
on
out,
its way.
holding out from some penis growth.
Oh, for
Yeah.
penis growth. Oh, good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Hey, maybe you are.
You actually have an
never
interesting
know.
question.
What's that?
I guess everyone does, but are you a 6'5" in both or above?
Oh, that's
Wait,
interesting.
am I what?
6.5
Oh,
both.
These are the important questions that you just is asking on your application. We'd like to know.
yes. Credit card info.
Yeah.
Penis size.
They're
Yeah.
like, do you qualify to be a part of this website?
Yes.
That's a good question.
So speaking of height, do you have a low bar? Can a guy be? Would you ever go out with a guy shorter than you? Because you said you're 5'5", right?
I'm 5'5", yeah. I have gone out with guys shorter than me or my height. I've never been a big, like, I get why people are so obsessed with height. I think it is attractive that my boyfriend's taller than me. Like when we take photos together, I'm like, oh, we look good together because he's like so much taller than me. You know?
I have that problem.
Oh, yeah?
Well,
Oh, 'cause Hannah's tall.
if Hannah wears heels,
Yeah. But see, like, I don't know. It's never been like a deal breaker for me. Like if my boyfriend was 5'3", like a foot shorter, and still was like who he was and treats me the way he does, I don't think I'd really care. But I've never been someone who Like people will list their physical type and it'll be so detailed, that little list. And I'm like, God damn, if you like lined up all the guys I've dated or ever been with, none of them look anything like each other. Like they are short, tall, black, white, bigger, smaller, muscular, not muscular. Like I have never cared about that stuff. I've always been a like personality person.
So it's interesting you say that because Steve and I obviously going through this now, we try and get a lot of stats on people meeting in person, right?
Yeah.
And I forget where we found it, but a big thing was that women don't realize that they're not attracted to looks. And when they meet someone in person, they're actually most attracted to their morals, values, and how empathetic they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real thing. So like
100%.
you said, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're attractive, obviously like I'll put up with more bullshit, but like I'm not like, and also looks fade. You know what I mean? Like I want someone who's like actually good for me personality wise. And like very early on with my boyfriend, we were actually drunk at a bar, which is like our favorite thing to do. And this random drunk guy came up to us and he like put his arms around us and he was like, well, you guys seem like you're on your first date. And I was like, it's like our 5th date, but we're both still nervous. Okay. And he was like, tell me like the favorite things about each other right now. Their top 3. For some reason we played this random guy's drunk game and I like listed 3 attributes about my boyfriend that I was like really attracted to. And he listed 3 things about me. And the guy was like, you know, what's interesting is neither one of you said anything physical about each other as your top 3. And he's like, I think this one is going to work out. And then he left. And I was like, God, like, was that Jesus? Like, you know what I mean? But I was like, it's true. Like obviously I think he's a smoke show and like 10 out of 10 would bang and hope to later today. But that's not like, you know, my number one thing. And like, I love so much more about him than his penis.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
hope his mom
His
listens to
tongue.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like Joe's saying, like we've seen plenty of stuff recently about how physical attractiveness is the worst indicator for long-term success in a relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If that's it? If
Yeah,
you're
if
just
it's
physically
based
attracted?
on that, then yeah.
Because that only goes so far. You know what I mean? Like, that's not all of it. That's not. I think that's lust, not love, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And it's real connection, right?
Yeah.
You could be so attracted to somebody and how they look, but when you're sitting watching a movie, if you can't talk to them and feel like you're friends,
Yeah.
what's the point in having something real?
I know, and I think that's why I like love the chaos of it all, because I really believe like if you can find that chaos on day one and withstand it together, like you can get through anything. Like if you know, you're gonna have life's hurdles are gonna throw themselves at you. Will the hot guy you're dating like plan your mom's funeral? Like will the hot guy you're dating like show up for you when you get fired and like know how to comfort you? You know, because like that's what is in all of our futures, right? And so I think finding someone that can withstand like that chaos of life with you is like the way to find the person. So I like to jump into that chaos right away. And I think it kind of just helps eliminate the ones that aren't your people.
How did you come up with Chaotic Singles as the name?
I called it Chaotic Hinge Party, I think, initially. I just wanted chaos to be a part of it because I felt like it was a chaotic party idea. And then I called it Chaotic Hinge because we invited all the guys off Hinge, but then I wanted to kind of get away from that branding. So then I just was like, I guess Chaotic Singles is the way to go because that describes, I think, everyone who shows up. They're all a little chaotic and they're all single.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think also it might have been Colleen. We had a girl, Colleen, a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about how like, do you remember? Did she say like 4 years being with someone for 4 years is like what she thinks is like a necessary amount of time so you can go through all seasons of life, like you're saying, like death and like different things that you would need to see someone how they react and how they respond.
Yeah, I think that was
in order to see how that would be in the long term.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
I mean, and that was her thing. She said about 4 years, but you know, I the point being what you were saying in terms of going through stuff with somebody and seeing how they respond and how you guys go through it together.
Yeah. I think that's really telling, right? Like how that person shows up for you on your worst days. I'm like, whew, that's some good shit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I like the term partner.
Yeah.
It really is a partnership. Of course, you're attracted and it's physical, but it's a partnership, right?
Yeah.
Whoever you want to do business with, it's a partnership. You have to make sure you're aligned and you push each other in the best way possible and you help each other when you're down, right? Same thing with a partner. It's a partnership. How am I going to help you when you're down? How am I going to help you when you're up? How are you going to help me and vice versa? And I think partnership is when I was younger and I heard partner, I always thought it was, and this is me being stupid naive, when you were gay, right?
Right,
It's my partner.
Yeah.
But then as you evolve and you grow, I like to call Hannah my partner because it's like, we're partners.
100%. I also think it helps normalize it for the queer community if we're all just using that term. You know what I mean? I feel like it might help them feel less like weird about their partners.
100%.
We're boyfriend, girlfriend. You know what I mean? So I love that. Have you guys had a long-term partnership prior to Hannah and like in your life?
Not really.
No?
Not really.
What's your longest relationship?
Probably like 2.5 years, but it was
Okay.
part of college. So it's not
Yeah.
like a real world adult relationship.
Did you think they were the one?
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I was so young. And
I know, it's hard to know
yeah,
at that age.
immature and like probably did a lot of wrong things. Like nothing bad or terrible, but like just to make a relationship work.
Yeah.
I was just young and dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
But since then, like I don't know, like I've moved a couple times and like I've always been trying to like kind of find a career first type of thing.
And
Yeah.
he can be picky because he's 6'5", 3/4, good looking.
No, I tell him all the time. I get 0 date requests on the app, like 0.
Okay,
they're
can I
probably
see your dating
intimidated.
profile?
Sure.
Oh yes.
Let me
Cassidy,
review this
please.
really quick.
I mean, also, yeah. I'm not. Actually, I won't. I'm not even gonna preface it with anything. You can just look.
I'm gonna do a live review.
But I
I
also-
do these on TikTok now.
I don't have any dating apps. This is the only one.
Well, obviously. I mean, he's a loyal hoe, if nothing else. Okay, we love it. Steve, age 35. You're at 35?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like
I'm a
that.
spinster.
A spinster. Hey, my boyfriend's 32. I like older. I think West Hollywood, content creator, Staten Island. Well, maybe we should take that off,
I
honestly.
probably should.
That was wrong.
Okay, I think this first photo you could do hotter.
Okay.
This is a good photo of you,
Can I see
but
the first photo?
yeah. He's in a party shirt. He's in a short sleeve party shirt.
See, I think
Show the
I
people.
think Steve's first photo, and I think any guy's first photo should be either a smirk
Oh.
or and that's but I'm a guy judging a guy.
Yeah.
That's which isn't good.
Why do you say a smirk?
I don't know. I feel like just it's intriguing, right? When
Yeah.
you come out with a smile, it's too welcoming.
Yeah.
And I think the intrigue pulls women in first with a
Little
I don't
smirk.
know if he's mean or if he's sweet.
Okay, I can get down for a smirk.
You know?
I like the first photo to be like totally your personality, like in summation. Do you know what I
okay.
mean? If I see that first photo, I'm either like, oh, he's a dick, or I'm like, oh, he's a sweet. Like you can get that right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say for the record that I probably only have about 15 photos of myself in existence.
This is an actual real problem.
Yeah, it's a problem
it's an
for guys.
epidemic that good-looking men don't have enough people taking photos of them. Do you not have any friends to take photos of you?
Well, he's been asking me for a photo for the website for like a month.
Literally.
I just don't have any.
We
So,
need to take Steve on a photo shoot.
We should do
But
a
a
whole
casual.
TikTok thing about this.
We literally
with
should.
Steve. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, we're doing it. We're gonna put you on blast. I'm gonna put you on my TikTok, and I will help you find love. Like
Okay.
that.
You know what we'll do? Cass, I'm going to hire a photographer, a professional.
Okay.
You do the TikTok end of it.
Okay.
We're going to create a day of Steve's photo shoot.
A day of Steve.
We're going to go around and we're going to put up like
Steve's like, I hate this.
No, I'm into
like
it. I'm
a
into it.
fake ice sculpture behind him where he's like ice climbing.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like,
No,
the
because
whole
I
we
nine.
want
wanna
to make
be
sure
like,
it's
gotta be real.
authentic.
It's gotta be real.
I honestly, even though I also don't think we should do a professional photographer. I think we should just do iPhone because I personally don't love professional photos on a dating profile.
Okay, so I'll be the photographer.
You're the
Because
photographer.
I'm very average.
Great. That's what we're going for.
And you
I'll be the
could
art director.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Such
I'm
wardrobe
down.
stylist.
I'm down. Yeah.
Okay. Because some of these photos are nice. A day without laughter is a day wasted. I like that.
And I
Okay,
have a
this
couple
is a good photo.
selfies.
This is a
Okay.
hot photo. It is blurry though. So
It's a mirror selfie from someone else's phone.
yeah. You can
I
tell.
literally don't have photos.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
It's a good, we have some guns. I like that your gun photo is 3 down. I think you have to make them work for the hot stuff. He has drank that entire bottle of water since we started talking about him. Steve does not like the attention.
No, I
know.
love it. I'm
you
actually parched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I really put you on the spot. I knew I
No,
was
I-
going to too. I was like, I'm going to go
I'm
on this
cool with it.
podcast
He
and ask Steve
thrives
about
in
his dating life.
I'm cool with it. I could talk about anything.
Okay. I like this photo of you too, but you are not the tallest one, and that is not
interesting.
reflective of your height.
The other guy's 6'9", yeah.
Well, fuck that guy. We need a new photo. Get you a man who can do both. That's funny. This is a photo of
That's
him in a dick
Steve.
costume.
Both of those are Steve.
Right. No, I got that. And that's funny. You
I
should
didn't
keep
mean
that.
that they're both Steve. Cassidy.
Personality-wise, he
They're both-
meant.
Oh, I thought that was Steve in the dick costume.
It is. No, he meant literally in
Like his
personality.
personality.
Oh, no, I was like, no, I know.
You're
He's
like,
in
I
a
know,
dick
it's Steve.
costume.
It's his profile.
Okay, and then we have 2 in the same shirt, which makes
that
me
is
a
a
little
red
concerned
flag.
about your wardrobe.
Yeah.
So I think we can do way hotter, Steve.
Okay.
You don't have any matches on the dating app?
No.
I feel like you should just be falling into matches.
I don't know.
And drowning in pussy.
I think it's heavily.
I can't say that
We have to do
confidently.
this photo shoot and change the
Yeah.
Staten Island.
Yeah,
I
we
think the
just
Staten
Yeah.
Island.
No, I think it's funny. You should keep Staten Island. It's who you are.
It is. My mom's still there, so
Yeah, don't be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve's mom.
thank you. What up, mom?
Is she proud of you?
Yeah, every day.
We love her.
We love her.
Yeah, she
What's her
listens
name?
to everything.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you raised a really good person.
Thanks, Cassidy.
I'm a big fan.
Appreciate that. But yeah, let's do this.
I'm gonna
down.
be your wing woman.
I'm very down.
Find Steve Love 2023.
We're doing this next
Well,
week.
only if he wants to.
We're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So we have 2 minutes.
Okay.
So Cass, you're the star of the show. Where can we find you? What do you want to shout out?
You can find me on ujas.com. Just kidding.
You look good for 50.
Oh my God, thank you. No, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Cassidy Nash Davis.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if you're in LA and other cities around the country coming soon, come to a Chaotic Singles party. It's the best.
Hell yeah.
Cassidy's the best.
I don't know why I
And
did that.
I'll do it too. I don't
okay,
care.
let's all do it.
Hell yeah, let's do it. All right, Cassidy, thank you so much.
Of
Appreciate
course,
you.
thanks for having me.
Of course.
Check out
guys.
From, Sluts for From.
Yes.
Thanks, Cass.
Awesome.